Okay, Secretary Liamas, yung kababayan namin si Bongbong Marcos ay nasa Hawaii recently and maraming mga kababayan kong Ilocano ay pumunta sa kanya. And of course, Marcos Jr. has a history in the tropical paradise. He spent years there in Hawaii, you know, and all of that. But we know that beyond that, the real deal was him visiting the Indo-Pacific Command of the Pentagon, which is, I think, the first time by any, may I have an extra, the first time by any foreign leader to visit Indo-PACOM, right? Like this is not, it's not normal. So this is special, or some say not so special. And he was also in the Pentagon earlier this year sa Washington, D.C. And he was, again, the only foreign leader since Biden came to power na may 18-gun salute. And so clearly, may special treatment na kay BBM and Philippines.
Yes.
Are you, what is your feels about this? Kinakabahan ka ba? Or na-excite ka ba? Or alanganin ka? What's, like, is this too much getting close on the military front? Is Marcos Jr. getting too much sucked into the American military industrial complex? Or this is reasonable way of strengthening alliance as China bullies us more and more on daily basis, as we discussed in previous episode?
Hopefully, ay mas circumspect siya dito sa implementation ng kanyang foreign policy. Knowing his foreign policy, hindi naman nakakabigla. No, hindi naman nakakabigla itong pangyayari. Ayun lang, dahil halimbawa tayong dalawa as progressives, medyo calibrated din yung tingin natin na dapat ginagawa ng gobyerno. Dahil meron na rin tayong mga negative experiences during the Clark-Subic days, no, na ayaw nating maulit. So based on those historic lessons, no, gusto natin maging circumspect yung presidente. No, wag naman masobrahan, no? Na okay na niyayakap niya yung mundo, no? At hindi siya humihingi lang ng tulong dahil sabi nga natin, hindi lang to usapin ng ating West Philippine Sea, usapin dito ng freedom of navigation in one of the most important waterways in the world. So gusto natin magsama-sama tayo diyan, no? Ibang usapin pa yung Taiwan. Hindi natin, wala tayong unity diyan, no? Pero
malayo.
Pero baka kasi madrag siya dun sa Taiwan issue, no? Dito sa ganitong klaseng terrain na baka hindi pa niya kabisado. Doon lang naman natin siya wina-warningan, no? That foreign policy is not that simple, no? May mga kanyan may mga landmines, may mga
might get dragged into the deep water,
yes, may mga kanyan, no? Hindi ko naman sinasabi na mas magaling tayo sa kanya. Yung Haydarian mas magaling, no? Yung Liamas hindi masyado, no?
So, mamaya na si Harry Roque.
So pakinggan niya yung Haydarian sa mga advice niya na be more circumspect, be careful, no? Lalo na first year mo pa lang, di ba? No? Tapos maraming mga powers at play here, no? At maraming mga landmines at saka mga traps na baka hindi mo manotice nakatuntong ka na, no? Yun lang yung sinasabi natin. Pero all in all, it's balance sheet, it's positive, no?
Yeah,
pero ingat lang,
good,
no? Ingat lang at makinig siya dun sa geopolitical expert na RH.
Yeah, but Ronald, just to be clear, no, of course, Marcos Jr. has information that you and I do not have. So just to be humble about it, we're making this based on our historical understanding of how the alliance could go wrong. But maybe BBM has an information about U.S. reassurances na I and Ronald are not privy to, or even if we were privy to, perhaps we could share. So I'll give him benefit of the doubt, but I also not sure I want to give him benefit of the doubt because the last time
wala naman tayong judgment no? Kinakuan lang natin. Kaya nga ang ginamit kong term circumspect, no? Maging circumspect lang siya at learn from the lesson of the past para ma-navigate niya itong delicate terrain of the future. No, yun ang sinasabi natin sa kanila.
So Ronald,
I'm not trying to wax philosophical, no?
Right.
Pero the tensions are all here, no? And the forces, contending forces are at its other throat almost, no? So siya as the president, head of state of a country literally in the belly of the beast, no? Anong gagawin niya na hindi naman tayo mapahamak, no? Na hindi naman mapahamak yung ating bansa. Yun yung dapat bahagi ng kanyang circumspection. Because the superpowers have their own agenda. No? Once in a while, those agenda will jibe with ours. But not all the times. So yun yung sinasabi natin na pag-ingatan ng ating presidente.
Ronald, again, so kanina lang I just moderated a panel by 5 ambassadors, no, of our key partners: Australia, Canada, United Kingdom, wala yung Japan, but andyan yung US, etc., EU, whatever.
I'm sure ikaw din ang devil's advocate doon.
Yeah, and I pushed them, and medyo makulit ang ginawa kasi siya. My point naman kasi, Leloy, ba't ka naging Leloy, Ronald? My point kasi there, Ronald, is there are certain, for me, red lines we have to avoid. One is over-dependence on the United States. Second is allowing ourselves to be just an instrument of American policy towards Taiwan, Japan. Parang ano lang tayo, something less than Robin to Batman. Kasi yung Robin is di Robin Hood to, Robin is Japan, right, in this region. So parang we want to be at least the Flash in the Justice League. Huwag naman sana something less than Robin pa or Butler lang, di ba, yung Butler ni Batman. That, right? And the other thing is, of course, given yan, yung constitutionally speaking, dapat, constitutionally speaking,
we renounce war as an instrument of foreign policy.
Yeah, exactly. So Ronald, for you, what are the red lines here? And then next we can discuss what should be done to mitigate those potential crossing of those red lines. Anong red lines sa'yo, Ronald? So I kind of shared my red lines here.
Well, yung mga obvious in the past, halimbawa, yung ating constitutional provision na walang pupunta sa ating territory na mga battleships or submarines carrying nuclear weapons.
Weapons
dati ang sinasabi nila dyan, neither confirm nor deny. Hindi pwedeng excuse yun. Diba? Dapat may transparency. Dahil lalo na ganito ka-tense yung mga pangyayari. Ganito ka-volatile yung sitwasyon. So, yun yung isa. No? Ikalawa, itong EDCA, i-implement talaga natin yung rule na it's within the framework of visiting forces. There is nothing permanent, and the one in control of these bases is still the Department of National Defense and the Armed Forces of the Philippines. No? Dahil yung fine print minsan nandun yung di ba? Yung fine print nandun yung double talk. So kailangan malinaw yan, no? At ikatlo, this should be an improvement from the past. No, baka mamaya magkaroon na naman diyan ng mga incidents ng halimbawa murder or rape or etc. Tapos this house of cards will collapse, no? Dahil hindi pala malinaw 'yon sa mga agreements, no? Unless ito yung agreement with Australia na malinaw yung judicial rules, etc., no? So, yun yung sinasabi ko na just part of it, no? Just part of it. Halimbawa, magpapasok ba sila ng mga missiles sa Cagayan at saka sa Isabela na kayang umabot doon sa 100 kilometers boundary natin with Taiwan.
Yeah.
So,
or Patriot missile systems,
then de facto, without admitting it, sumasali tayo sa Taiwan issue. So yan yung mga red lines na dapat conscious tayo. Ang problema, minsan hindi pinapaalam no? So how do we know about? So mahalaga rin yung transparency within.
May kasaysayan ang Amerika ng even their accusations na nagda-dump sila ng radioactive waste, di ba? Yung ecological damage. So, alam ko marami dito ng followers natin, hate na hate nila yung China. So parang gusto nila US kaagad. But what we're saying is that that's not a national interest way of thinking. You have to always look at the Filipino interest and not jump into one camp because ayaw mo sa kabila. It was never.
Nga kami ng incident nung panahon nung first year ni Pinoy because we discovered a canister sa Fort Magsaysay na nakalagay ay galing sa US. So pinapasoli namin sa US yan dahil ano ba naman yan, no? Ayun, biological weapon, etc., no? Chemical weapon. So sabi namin, bibigay namin sa inyo, kayo na bahala na isoli yan. Sabi ng US, bawal sa US na magpasok ng biological or chemical weapon. Ang sabi ni Pinoy, teka, hindi naman sabi ng galing to, nang galing sa inyo ito. Ibig sabihin, galing sa inyo, dinala nyo rito. Tapos, hindi pwedeng isole. Sabi nila, hindi. So, for almost 6-8 months, hindi nag-usap si Pinoy at saka yung US Ambassador, si Harry Thomas. Because of that
That's what I'm saying, Ronald. You and I know na hindi inosente itong superpower na natin.
Yun ang sinasabi natin na it has to be two-way, no? Yung tutulungan natin ang isa't isa, pero ano naman, hindi naman tayo aliping nagigilid. No? Tayo naman ay dapat junior partner, no? Junior partner, no? Okay lang na Spider-Man o kaya The Flash, no? Basta wag naman Robin lang.
Sure. Yun nga, Robin to Batman. Sige, on the latter part of this episode, let's also discuss this. So kanina kausap din natin yung mga ibang aliado natin kasi my position, Ronald, is ayoko maging Pearl Harbor ang Philippines. Sana naman mag-invest din kayo dito. So we saw some good news na potentially American semiconductor industry may finally consider the Philippines. Something we have been discussing in our industrial strategy podcast. The European Union and also Britain are also looking at investments in the green energy infrastructure. The same with the Australians. And then with the Canadians, hopefully they'll also move in that direction kasi mostly mining company yung mga Canadians, diba? So what do you think about that? Do you think that we're moving in the right direction with other countries coming in? And Japan, obviously, Japan is doing good. Subway, infrastructure, Mindanao peace process. I'm very happy with what Japan is doing. And by the way, just the news, kanina sinabi ng ambassador ng Canada, they're also looking at the VFA style deal with us. So potentially Japan and Canada could be the next VFA partners of the Philippines. So I'm just saying, interesting yun kasi kausap ko sila kanina. Hindi ko alam kung may video copy pa, but they recorded kanina. Yes or no?
These are very good possibilities, no? Let's give credit where credit is due. These are very good possibilities opened by the government. But this will remain possibilities unless we improve our comparative advantage, no? Lang yan, maiiwan niya sa MOU. Kung yung price of electricity mo is the most expensive in the region, no? Kung yung corruption mo is one of the worst in the region. Kung yung education system mo is learning poverty mo is 90%, no? Compared to other nations. So kung yung infrastructure mo ay walang development, and then our comparative advantage. Eventually, bottom line, no, they will have second, third, fourth thoughts to enter. Kahit optimistic sila sa meeting with the president, pag nagpadala na sila ng advance team dito, titingnan lahat yung ating comparative advantage. Babalik sila ron because it's about earnings, eh. Diba? It's about profit margins. Hindi naman ang ginagawa nito purely out of altruism, out of geopolitics. May malaking bahagi niyan ay paano ba sila kikita? It's about profit margins also. So, at malaking bahagi ang profit margin, yung ating comparative advantage, no? Alam mo yan, kabisado mo yan, Richard, as part of your geopolitical framework.
But Ronald, comparative advantage can be created with industrial policy. That's the whole point. Korea had not begun shipbuilding in 1950.
But that doesn't happen overnight.
Oh yeah, of course, it's a long-term strategy.
And that you have to show indicative planning, di ba? So our airports are not improving. Our foreign direct investments are going out, no? So kailangan makakita man lang tayo, at least sila, itong mga interesado na ito, na something indicative na the price of electricity and power is slowly going down, no? Not dramatically, but at least may ganung klaseng direction, no? At least yung mga binabanata natin, mga corrupt, cartels, etc., may makita naman tayo kahit isa, dalawa, tatlo na makukulong, na makakasuhan. Or else it will just be plain rhetorics, no? Na paulit-ulit, di ba? So, ito yung sinasabi ko na something indicative to invite them to really start to invest. No? Yun yung sinasabi ko. No? Tama ka, comparative advantage ay tinatrabaho. Pero kung wala kang recognition na ito yung ating comparative advantage, ito yung problema. Kung basic minimum, hindi mo tanggap na ang tingin mo, you believe in your own legend, in your own propaganda, na ang galing-galing natin. No? $90 billion, papasok na. Wala pa nga na $1 billion na pumapasok eh. Diba? So, yun lang naman.
Ronald, ganitong take ko dito. Ganitong take ko. Ang mga bansa na ito, no, Australia, Canada, Japan, wala silang mahanap na katulad natin sa buong Southeast Asia, at the very least. No other Southeast Asian country shares their principles and cultures, and definitely no Southeast Asian country is going to stand up to China like them.
Yes.
Point ko dito is kapalit ng kanilang more access and more cooperation and more strategic presence here, they have to give us something good in terms of economics, in terms of trade. So they have to make a strategic investment in the Philippines beyond just Pearl Harbor of Asia. Do you get what I'm saying? In short, I'm saying we have to juice them out because they're not going to find any other Southeast Asian country with our geography, with our culture, with our alignment, with our orientation. So we need to juice that out. That's my point. We need to juice.
But Richard, that's what we are for the past decades, no? But still, ang puntahan nila is Vietnam, ngayon Indonesia, Thailand, to some extent Malaysia. So parang hindi yan nagiging comparative advantage natin for the past years, eh. Di ba? Paano bottom line, their governments have to balance the interest of their private sector na mag-i-invest. Hindi lang yan official development, hindi lang naman yan grants, di ba? A large part of that is investments by their own private companies, di ba? Yun yung binabalansin nila.
Yes, I get it, Ronald, but it's like now you see Ursula von der Leyen coming to Manila. Now you see Foreign Secretary of let's say, you get what I'm saying? Like they're taking us seriously, even during the Pinoy, for all the good things Pinoy was doing. The Americans never took the Philippines seriously. Now, this is not about BBM. This is about the Philippines knocking on the door and saying, hey, baka naman gusto niyong pansinin din ng Pilipinas, puro kayong Vietnam, puro kayong Thailand, puro kayong Malaysia, maya naman kayo. Ito nga kausap. You get what I'm saying? Like you have to do that with them. Like, oh, umayos kayo.
Ang sinasabi ko lang, they have to put
their money where their mouth is.
No?
Exactly,
no?
yeah.
At hindi ko pa nakikita yon. Ang nakikita ko are, yun lang naman sinasabi ko. At ang sinasabi ko, ang ating assignment, kahit pa paano comparative advantage. Ito yung assignment nila. They will convince their investors. They will convince their population that we are the strategic partner in this part of the world. But then again, pagdating nila rito, pag parachute dito, ang kanilang paratroopers, they're going to see, oh, oops, no? Yan yung makikita nila. So, ang sinasabi ko lang, para naman sila ay pumasok, hawiin naman natin ng konti yung daan. Diba? Tanggalin naman natin yung garbage ng konti, diba? Medyo patagi naman natin yung dadaanan nila. No? Yun lang naman sinasabi ko. Na
in a way, kahit Ronald,
diba, kahit communist Vietnam, bakit ang daming investor doon? No? Ng mga US. Harley Davidson nandun ngayon, no? North Face nandun ngayon sa Vietnam, di ba?
Again, Ronald gets good, di ba? Like the same with communist China, right? I mean, it's always a combination of geopolitical alignment and at the same time economic investment. Kasi di ba in China rin, andun ng China forever. Pero nung karoon ng big investment was after nag-normalize ng ties ng China and the West. So what I'm saying is, why not the Philippines make its comparative advantage is geopolitical relevance as part of, kasi ang pwede gawin ng US, and I think this will set the tone for the next episode, feeling ko may kinalaman ng mga partners natin with what's happening with Leila de Lima. Feeling ko may kinalaman ng mga partners natin with marginalization of the Dutertes. I think behind the scenes, they're telling Marcos, baka naman sir, gusto mong mag-ayos ng konti para matulungan din namin kayo kasi demokrasya tayo, di ba? So what I'm saying is if they can pressure Marcos, nudge Marcos in the right direction on human rights, maybe they can nudge Marcos to bust some of the oligarchies or make some of our oligarchs more competitive or open to you get what I'm saying? Like this gentle nudges behind the scenes, helping with regulation, capacity building. So you're right. At the end of the day, the decision will be by the American companies and European companies. Hindi mo sila pwedeng utusin. Hindi ito Huawei or Chinese companies. But you can create and facilitate the conditions to make the Philippines more attractive to Qualcomm and American and European and BMWs and all. You get what I'm saying? So
Richard,
yung what we can do,
yung first-hand experience ko dyan, no? Very supportive si Pinoy sa West. Very supportive sila sa US. Tumira sila dyan when they were being oppressed by the Marcos dictatorship. Pero nung panahon niya, nakakuha kami ng 2 lumang World War II vintage boats. Diba? Yung isa tinespire pa namin yung 50 caliber gun, nag-jam. Hindi pumutok, no? So, merong, 'di ba, yung sana dinagdagan naman nila yung suporta dahil yan yung panahon na nag-offensive na yung China.
Don't have the Philippines on the chip.
Yeah. So what we got was, kaya galit na galit si Pinoy noon. Ano ba kailangan gawin namin, no? Yun yung kwan. So halimbawa ngayon, kailangan nilang bilisan because it's now 4 years na lang eh. Diba? 4 years na lang, halos lampas na yung 2 years. So they have to scale up quickly yesterday, not tomorrow, diba? Yun lang nasabi ko, no? Baka kailangan din natin silang itulak while we're doing our homework.
No, yeah, that's what we're doing here. Di ba? Tinutulak ko, umayos kayo. You cannot have the Philippines on the chip, right?
Yeah.
Yun ang kasalanan nila kay Pinoy eh. They didn't provide support to Pinoy eh. They were just using the Philippines when Philippines was open.
Andun ako nung tines yung 50 caliber in this old
palpak na rin yung mga allies natin.
No? Nag-jam, no? Gusto nga ni Pinoy, soli na eh. No, isoli na sa kanila. Ano tingin nila sa atin, di ba?
Diba? I mean, Ronald, let's be honest. Tingnan mo yung treatment nila kay BBM. Binibigyan ng red carpet sa Pentagon, red carpet sa Indo-Pacific. They didn't give that to Aquino ever.
Yeah.
Aquino deserved that 10 times more.
10
times more na deserve ni Aquino yan.
They put their money where their mouth is, no? Or whatever, no? Yun lang naman sinasabi ko. Ang sinasabi ko lang, for now, medyo wala pa. No? Medyo wala pa. And time is moving fast. Meron ka ng mga desktop, no? Meron ka ng, di ba? Yung mga, tapos, the government has to show something, no? Dahil pag-abot ng midterm, tapos wala pa rin silang maipakita, no? The post-midterm will be difficult. Kung itong 1.5 years, wala silang maipakita. Kaya yung gustong tumulong sa kanila, tumulong na ngayon. Wag after the midterms. The midterms, bagbabago totally yung political complexion. Because it's about 2028.
Exactly, di ba? Ang point natin dito is seize the moment, right? Yan ang point natin.
Lalo na, baka
allies natin shouldn't take it.
Baka next year makabalik si Trump. Oh, di ba? Paano kung makabalik si Trump? No? Bagong negotiations na naman, di ba? Bagong na naman. After a while, 2028 na. Di ba?
At saka Ronald, pansin mo, biglang bumait si Xi Jinping nung nasa APEC summit siya. Friendly siya sa US, friendly siya kay Governor Newsom of California. Yung China rin, medyo matalino din sila. They can, kunyari, bakit sila bigla out of nowhere?
Bakit nila ipupush yung envelope sa Taiwan? Magkakaroon ng election sa Taiwan na baka manalo yung kakampi nila. Diba? Exactly. Bakit nila ipupush yung envelope sa US where si Trump might most probably be the next president and they can play with Trump, no? So, konti naman sila, no? Hindi, mga pragmatist din yung Chinese, di ba? No, hindi naman yan mga katulad.
Tsaka nag-adjust yung mga yan, nag-adjust din sila. They say stuff, they do bullying, but mautak talaga mga Chinese.
Magbabalik sila doon sa Xiao Enlai framework that we can outweight you. No, we can outweight you. You know, Xiao Enlai dominant foreign policy since Deng Xiaoping hanggang Hu Jintao. Pwede silang bumalik doon. Ayun yung,
as I say, if you saw yung meeting ni Xi Jinping and Governor Newsom, nag-exchange pa ng golden Warriors shirt. I mean, he can put on the charm eh. You don't underestimate the Chinese. Matalino talaga mga taong yan.
Tingnan mo, nung nag-usap sila ni Bongbong, anong pinag-usapan nila? De-escalation, no? Natawa nga ako eh. Ano namang i-de-escalate ng Pilipinas? Di ba? Hindi naman tayo nag-escalate ever. Di ba? So anong i-de-escalate natin? Pag pinag-usapan ng de-escalation, it's 99% on the court of China. Di ba? Sila yung dapat mag-de-escalate. Kaya nga, sabi ko, anong de-escalation ang gagawin ni BBM? No, anong de-escalation ang gagawin ng Pilipinas, di ba? So, yun minsan yung double talk eh. Dito sa mga diplomatis, no? Itong mga meetings na ito, no?
Thank you very much, Secretary Liamas. I think we discussed this issue very well. Now, how the Philippines can maximize its newfound geopolitical relevance. And you and I agree, Aquino was not given his due credit. Hindi siya sineryoso as much as he deserved. But now, it's not about BBM. It's about realizing the Philippines is important. And therefore, we want to make sure that hindi lang tayo Pearl Harbor. We became a new investment hub and we create jobs and opportunities and success.
Yes.
China is going to come knocking on the door again. See, wala kayong makuha rin sa West. Kami talagang future. We're the inevitable future. So we want to push back against that. Thank you very much again, Secretary Liamas.
Anytime.